Sylvia, and I enjoyed our short vacation. But the Stronghold is back in force, and the Snarl TV champions, the Psychodelixx, are set to face Mid-Atlantic champion, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and Rowdy Roddy Piper.
In a non-title match. Forgot to mention that, DB.
The following non-title tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 490 pounds, from Glasgow, Scotland, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and from Orlando, Florida, the RWL Mid-Atlantic champion, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Orndorff and Hot Rod rejoined forces last week, posting up a solid match in their return, and this week facing the Snarl Tag Champs in this non-title scrap. Hard to say who might win here, since Piper and Orndorff are a pretty solid team with heaps of experience, especially as a tag team.
They've sure got the attention of the fans, too. This classic pairing calls up memories of their past alliances, so they've also got quite the legacy on their side. But we're talking about the Snarl Tag Champs here, and like most Stronghold clients, they don't miss many of their call shots. No matter who wins, this is gonna be a fiery encounter.
Absolutely true, gentlemen. Really looking forward to this one. And while Piper and Orndorff did not win their debut match as a new tag team all over again, oh man, against the Freak and the Wild Thing. This is gonna be good, guys.
Their opponents accompanied by Sylvia Strong at a combined weight of 480 pounds, from Paducah, Kentucky, the Freak, and from Staten Island, New York, Wild Thing Wayne Tate, the Snarl Tag Team champions, the Psychodelixx.
Well, it certainly looks like the Freak and the Wild Thing look very well rested, sporting the Snarl Tag Team Championship, along with your beloved Sylvia Strong, making their way down to ringside for this match with Piper and Orndorff. And I don't know, I'm leaning towards the Psychodelixx because, like you said, GB, they don't miss many.
Well, let's find out the benefits or shortcomings of a week out of circulation.
Alright, we got Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and he's going to be starting off for his team, and the Freak starting off for the Psychodelixx, and here we go, Tom Kanemaru. Sounds the bell. They come center ring. A quick jab and a quick right and a quick hip toss from the Freak. Takes Orndorff down. Now he's beating his feet on the Mississippi mud. That is Mr. Wonderful. Set of wrist clutch kicks right to the side of the head from the Freak. Orndorff trying to get back up the Freak. Gets a hold of him. There's a wrist clutch boot to the face. The Freak rounds him up. Double choke lift and a toss halfway across town. And he turns it over to Wild Thing Wayne Tate on the tag. Orndorff back to a standing position. A chop across the chest of the Wild Thing. He gets a hold of him. Nice suplex from Paul Orndorff. The Mid-Atlantic champion trying to get to his corner, but too late. The Wild Thing gets a hold of him. Whips him over the top rope and out onto the floor before he can tag Roddy Piper. Orndorff don't look too pleased with that. Wild Thing locked up. There's a kick to the midsection. Orndorff counters with a kick of his own. Quick jab, quick right. Orndorff with a rib breaker to the Wild Thing. Wayne Tate rolls to the outside. Mr. Wonderful takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes. Elbow right to the top of the dome for Wild Thing Wayne Tate right in front of Sylvia Strong. There's a dragon screw from Wild Thing Wayne Tate. The Wild Thing with another kick to the midsection and a DDT on the floor, with Tom Kanemaru already engaged in the count. There's a kick to the midsection from Orndorff. There's a short arm clothesline. Orndorff countered by Wild Thing with a kick to the gut. And a pretty nice hip toss. Well done by the Wild Thing, huh? Wild Thing Wayne Tate rolls Orndorff back inside the ring. He is desperate to make the tag to Roddy Piper, and he just might do it. And he does. Here comes Hot Rod. Hot Rod catches a boot to the face from the Wild Thing. Wild Thing misses with the rolling elbow. Piper quickly back up, misses with the running kick. They lock it up. There's a forearm to Roddy Piper. Piper being escorted towards the corner, head first into the turnbuckle. Here comes the Freak again, and a double team incoming from Mr. Wonderful. He is whipped to the ropes. Ooh, man. taken down hard as the Freak takes over for the Psychodelixx. Orndorff on the outside apron, getting to a standing position. Counters. The Freak counters with an enziguri and takes him out to the floor again. Mr. Wonderful is laid out. The Freak off the top, 10 feet up, 10 feet down, big time leg drop. Oh, man. The Freak with a quick jab and a one-arm slam on the outside. Roddy Piper finally back to his feet. A double axe handle off the apron to Mr. Wonderful. Orndorff rounded up again by the Freak. Tries to get him back in the ring, but Piper's in the way. Kick to the midsection and a running headbutt from the Freak, who decides Orndorff can get in his damn self. Piper counters with a forearm. The Freak tags him with the right. Orndorff back inside the ring now, and a hard right hand drops the Freak like a bad habit. The Freak gets a hold of Piper, headlock punch. Orndorff going after Wild Thing Wayne Tate, gets hung up on the ropes. Double axe handles to Orndorff. The Freak rolls back inside the ring to take care of Piper, gets a hold of him, whips him to the corner, running knee. Down goes Mr. Wonderful. There's a kick to the midsection. There's another one. There's a third. There's a, oh man, putting the boot to the throat. Forcing all of his weight into the chest of Mr. Wonderful. There's a handstand off the ropes and a pair of double knees to the chest of Paul Orndorff. The Freak turns it over to the Wild Thing. Orndorff still laid out as Wild Thing moves in. The Wild Thing drives the knee into the canvas on Orndorff. Rolls him over for the cover and hooks the leg just about center ring, but Roddy Piper right there to break it up even before the count of one. Okay. Wild Thing Wayne Tate apparently in control of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The Mid-Atlantic champion quickly counters with a right and a double throat chop, forcing Wild Thing into the corner. And now being introduced to Mr. Turnbuckle and his 9 cousins by Mr. Wonderful. And out to the center collapses Wild Thing. He goes after him, but swing and a miss with the clothesline. No good. He counters with elbows to the midsection to Roddy Piper. Piper backed off. Running DDT from Wild Thing Wayne Tate. Tate goes after Orndorff, tags him with the right. Meanwhile, Piper and the Freak duking it out on the other side of the ring. Oh, slammed into the lip of the apron goes Orndorff from Wild Thing Wayne Tate. Piper making a beeline for the Wild Thing. Hot Rod rounds him up for a nice vertical suplex. Mr. Wonderful is laid out face down on the floor with the referee counting, running DDT. And both members of the team laid out, man. Wild Thing Wayne Tate currently in control. Piper counters with a right. A gouge of the face. A chop, another chop, a third chop, a fourth chop. Roddy Piper shoves the Wild Thing to the other side of the ring. Gets himself back inside before the count elapses. Wild Thing Wayne Tate still laid out. Mr. Wonderful going to get right up and go after him. Piper going after the Freak. Wow. The momentum on this one is all off balance. Oh, man. Piper still working on the Freak. Hangs him up off the top rope. Mr. Wonderful with a flapjack drops Wild Thing face first into the floor. Referee still counting. Belly to back suplex to Wild Thing from Orndorff. Piper off the top rope onto the Wild Thing. Oh man, this is crazy. Wild Thing Wayne Tate back in the ring waiting for Roddy Piper. He charges, misses with the clothesline. Wild Thing gets behind him, delivers a shot to the back, whips him back into the turnbuckle. Oh man. Wild Thing whips Piper to the opposing corner and a running forearm sends him crashing out. Rebound off the ropes and a running spear from Wild Thing Wayne Tate, who covers and hooks the leg. One, but Piper right there to break it up. Sylvia Strong going absolutely nuts. I guess a week's worth of vacation time has renewed her batteries. Hung up off the top rope goes Mr. Wonderful. Orndorff and Piper in trouble. Wrist clutch stomps to the chest from the Wild Thing. Wild Thing tags in the Freak. Roddy Piper laid out near center in big trouble. Orndorff on the outside. Wrist clutch kicks and a forearm to Piper from the Freak. And this match has gone on pretty long already. And as we know, the Psychodelixx stay for the long haul for sure. The Freak on the top turnbuckle. Piper getting to a standing position. Here he comes in. Ooh! Piper just got out of the way, delivers a running kick, delivers a stomp to the back. The Wild Thing working on Mr. Wonderful on the outside. Dragon screw from the Freak. The Freak rounds up Piper. Orndorff driven into the barricades by the Wild Thing on the outside. Piper whipped to the ropes by the Freak. There's a collision that sends them both halfway across the ring. Piper catches a jab from the Freak. The Freak winds up the arm into a hammerlock. Couple of hard shots to the midsection from Piper. Piper locks up the Freak, whips him to the ropes. They collide again. Double throat chop, a chop to the chest, but a counter, a hip toss from the Freak. Orndorff finally back to a standing position, going to get back to his tag corner, I presume. Piper slammed headfirst into the Psychodelixx turnbuckle. Here comes Wild Thing Wayne Take on the tag. There's a hard shot to the midsection to Roddy Piper. Piper rounded up from behind by Wild Thing Wayne Take. Back suplex. The Freak and the Wild Thing firmly in control of this match at the present time. Piper back to a standing position. The Freak looking on as Wild Thing Wayne Take sets up something fancy. What a beautiful suplex that was from Wild Thing Wayne Take. The Wild Thing covers and hooks the leg again and again. Piper breaking it up before the ref can even count a one. Man, Piper's fast. Rebound off the rope. Leg drop doesn't find the mark. Piper quickly back up. Running drop kick doesn't find the mark from Piper. Piper locks up. The Wild Thing Wayne Take escorts him to his team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes the Wild Thing, and here comes Mr. Wonderful on the tag. Double team coming up. Wild Thing whipped to the ropes. Double back body drop as Mr. Wonderful takes over for his team. Wild Thing back up to a standing position, gets a hold of Mr. Wonderful, escorts him to the corner, smashes his head into the turnbuckle, but he counters with an elbow, but the Freak tags him with a cheap shot. Orndorff and the Wild Thing both momentarily stunned. Well, this is not a good situation, and until one of them snaps out of it, this is how it's going to be. Referee Tom Canamora looking on. But Piper and the Wild Thing both seriously messed up. Sylvia Strong looking on, hoping that Wild Thing Wayne Take will snap out of it first, and he does. Double axe handle across the back of the head of Roddy Piper, a jumping elbow across the back of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Orndorff rolls to the outside. The Freak catches an inverted atomic drop, a couple of shots from Wild Thing, but a hip toss from Mr. Wonderful, who goes to work on a downed Wild Thing on the outside. Again, the referee continuing to count. The cross body from Orndorff don't find the mark. The Wild Thing gets him back inside the ring. The Freak also momentarily stunned on the outside. The Wild Thing rolls back inside the ring. Orndorff catches him from behind. Belly to back suplex just about center ring. Mr. Wonderful locks it up with the Wild Thing. Another flapjack face first into the canvas from Orndorff as he turns it over to Roddy Piper. The Freak finally back at his tag corner as Piper moves in on the Wild Thing. Piper all the way up on the top far right turnbuckle. Here he comes. Elbow drop right across the back of Wild Thing Wayne Take. Followed up with a stomp to the same zone. Piper countered with a jawjacker from Wild Thing Wayne Take. Take sets him up. Ooh, nasty suplex. Folded him in half, man. Wow. Roddy Piper rounded up by the Wild Thing. Wild Thing gets him by the scruff of the neck, escorts him to the Psychodelixx corner, smashes his head into the turnbuckle, turns it over to the Freak. And another double team coming up for Hot Rod. Double shoulders as the Freak takes over for the Psychodelixx. This match has been good. Already halfway over, still no sign of a winner though. Piper whipped into the corner by the Freak. Hard right. Up on the middle ropes. Here he comes. There's that clothesline off the middle rope. That's his signature. One. But nope. No good. Roddy Piper messes things up for him. Wild Thing shows him the outside. Orndorff on the outside. Piper locks in a sleeper hold on the Freak. Referee Tom Canamora keeping an eye on things. Wild Thing Wayne Take back inside the ring, but a jawjacker disengages Roddy Piper from the Freak. The Freak locks him up. Hard whips him into the far right corner. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff on the outside. Piper whipped to the ropes. The Freak misses with the knee. Piper misses with the clothesline. The Freak rounds him up, but Piper quick with the counter and a chop block to the back of the knee. of the Freak. Piper makes his way to the top turnbuckle here. Changes his mind on the high-risk maneuver, decides to go after Wild Thing, catches a knee to the face instead. Mr. Wonderful back on his side of the ring with a kick to the midsection from the Freak. Orndorff back at his tag corner. The Freak rolls back in, locks it up with Roddy Piper. Piper whips him to the ropes. Back body drop for the Freak. Piper quickly going for the cover and hooking the leg long. But Wild Thing Wayne Tague right there to save the day. Roddy Piper with an arm snap to the Freak. The Freak struggling to get to a standing position here. Piper drives a knee into the side of his head. The Freak in trouble here. Piper with another knee to the side of the head. He just busted open the Freak. Misses with the overhand right. The Freak misses with the jab. Probably got blood in his eyes now. There's a headlock punch right to the face. Mr. Wonderful stunned on the outside on the other side of the ring. A back rake from Piper to the Freak. The Freak whipped into the corner. Set of hard right hands from Rowdy. Roddy Piper just beating the Freak down into the corner. Mr. Wonderful still out to lunch on the outside. Wild Thing Wayne Tague at his corner. Sylvia Strong looking on. It is chaos. A choke. A blatant chokey from Roddy Piper. And has had just about enough of the Freak, I think. Orndorff finally getting back to his corner. Piper covers and hooks the leg, but too close to the Psychodelixx corner. Wild Thing Wayne Tague there to break it up. The Freak rolls to the outside. Roddy Piper looks like he's going to go after Wild Thing. And he does, but winds up getting hung up on the top rope. Piper crawling his way to the corner. The Freak showboating for the guys in the front row. Here comes Mr. Wonderful on the tag as the Freak rolls back inside the ring. Orndorff charges, running crossbody, takes the Freak down to the canvas. What a match this has been, huh? Stomp to the midsection from Mr. Wonderful. The Mid-Atlantic champion with a stomp to the shoulder of the Freak. Wild Thing tags him with a hard right. He turns his attention back to the Freak. There's a fist drop that don't find the mark. The Freak back to a standing position and tosses Orndorff halfway across the ring. The Freak takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Orndorff laid out in the corner, but starting to make it to a standing position. Here he comes. Flying punch takes down Mr. Wonderful. Orndorff rounded up again by the Freak. Man, this match about 3/4 of the way done, and still nobody's giving up. Orndorff counters his way out of the corner, catches a cheap shot from Wild Thing Wayne Tague. The Freak goes behind on him. Ooh, atomic drop right to the tailbone. Here comes the Wild Thing. Orndorff back to a standing position here. The Freak watching as Wild Thing helps him up. Winds up the arm, winds up the leg. There's that beautiful suplex from Wild Thing Wayne Tague. Tague rolls him over, covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Orndorff got out of that one himself and had to because Roddy Piper was nowhere to be found. The Wild Thing catches a shot to the midsection from Orndorff. Orndorff gets a hold of Wild Thing, whips him to the far right corner, charges. There's a clothesline that takes the Wild Thing down to the canvas. There's a fist drop right to the face from Mr. Wonderful, who is very definitely busted up. His eye might be bleeding. Mr. Wonderful trying to unscrew the head of Wild Thing Wayne Tague as Roddy Piper finally gets it to a standing position. Another fist drop right to the face. A stomp. Another stomp. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, done fooling around as he turns it over to Roddy Piper, and the Freak comes in on the tag. Fresh partners all the way around. Piper catches a kick from the Freak. Piper delivers a kick to the Freak. Up over the shoulders, but the Freak counters again. Takes Piper down. Oh, man. Vicious punches. Piper quickly gets him off. There's a stomp to the midsection. A stomp to the shoulder. The Wild Thing looking on as the Freak goes to work on Roddy Piper. A gouge of the face. The Freak with a hard shot to the back to Piper. Whips him to the ropes. Hard shot to the midsection. The Freak rounds him up. Another hard forearm. Drops Piper to the mat again. And now the Freak locking in that. Oh. Oof. An elbow right to the leg. Piper counters the Freak with a jawjacker. A counter kick from the Freak. A jab that don't find the mark. A gouge to the face from Piper. The Freak in the wrong corner as Piper goes to work on the arm of the Freak. Rowdy Piper continues to work on the arm against the ropes. Hot Rod really laying it in on the Freak's arm. Piper tags in Mr. Wonderful. There's a tag kick to the ribs as Orndorff takes over, misses his grapple. The Freak gets a hold of him, has him up, slams him down with authority, turns it back over to Piper, and Piper's about to catch 10 count punches to the chest from the Freak. Mr. Wonderful looking on, not really much he can do about the situation. And out to the floor goes Piper. There's a shot to the back from Orndorff, who's just biding his time, gets a hold of the Freak. There's a beautiful spinning pile driver. Here's a hook of the leg. And here's the ref. But Wild Thing Wayne Teague right there to save the match for his team as the Freak rolls out to the floor. Orndorff catches a forearm from Wild Thing. A hard right to Wild Thing from Orndorff. Another hard right and a drop kick. Drops the Wild Thing to the outside. The Freak still stunned on the outside. Piper still laid out face down on the floor. The referee still counting. Orndorff rolled back inside the ring. Less than 2 minutes to go. Man! The Freak misses with the running headbutt. Orndorff whips him to the ropes. Elbow right to the face and down he goes. Counter kick from the Freak. Orndorff laid down. The Freak countered by Orndorff with a kick. A gouge to the face. Oh man, that was a nasty one too. Flapjack face first into the canvas again. Mr. Wonderful covers. Hooks the leg here. 1, 2. Get up! Hot Rod and Mr. Wonderful picking up the win over the Psychodelixx by pinfall.
The time, 18 minutes and 46 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, Paul Orndorff and Rowdy Piper.
Oh, well, nobody's going to get them all perfect every time. And we're all just back after a week away. I'm not making excuses for the Freak and Wild Thing, because clearly Piper and Orndorff have it going on. And hey, if you gotta lose to someone worthy, I suppose.
Plus, the Snarl Tag titles weren't up for contention here. So yeah, it's a rare loss for the Psychodelixx, but certainly not a critical one.
We'll be back with our main event right after this.